Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are having a great week. We have some good stuff to talk about. We saw kind of some late in the morning movement today that really ended up running nicely into some important levels on several different pairs. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Quickly, you can see the markets were kind of flat this morning, and oil continues to surge, but everything else is coming down nicely. Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, everything is down for the day. So we're seeing a bit of that happening. Earnings reports are not looking so hot for some. Um, as far as news goes, this really got the euro pairs going. Draghi had a speech today about kind of the state of the European economy, and it was not as optimistic as maybe some would have hoped. So that caused a little bit of downward movement. We don't really have anything else too much out today. We do have some Swiss National Bank news later on this evening. Just keep an eye on the Swiss franc, not one we talk about too much. But coming into tomorrow, we have again no major UK news for tonight, and then tomorrow we don't have any major US news either. But we do have the Australian employment numbers tomorrow evening, and so those are good movers, and we should see some good activity coming out of that. Okay, so let's look at everything here. This is what we talked about yesterday. This was the 12900, 12950. These were all important levels, and the euro has been just bumping around in here. Ran up and just failed to make a break of 12950. Came right back down and had a little bit of a stall at 12900 before a bounce and then a nice little run through that. So now we're below 12900. We're into the 128. We're at about 128.80 almost. And we've had a low today of about 128, almost 50, just shy of 128.50. Now, this does some interesting things for us. This puts back into sight 127.50, which is this major support right here, this level right there. So let's keep our eye on that. 38% fib from the high to the low. We're still very much in track to reach that, and that's again around 127.40.50. So keep an eye on that. Let's look for some trade opportunities there. We're going to have a bit of a tough time with this trend wall right here. So watch this trend line, and we've got a nice little channel and so on. So just keep an eye on that. Um, but getting down into that, remember that we're going to encounter some pretty decent support at that trend line because we've also got the 4-hour, 200-day moving average. It's kind of just lurking through here, and anytime we have these guys overlapping, there's some interesting things that can happen. So we have 120. This is all just a little bit above 12800, 128.20, 30, and so on. So just kind of keep an eye on this little area as we approach. Remember, the levels on the euro dollar are going to be 120. We've already surpassed 128.75, then we've just about reached 128.50, and then remember 128.30 is another important one, and you can see that that is this guy right here, 128.30, and it's also a nice little support from this previous attempt down there. So let's just keep our eye on that and look and be ready and waiting for any kind of moves that may be coming up on this euro dollar to press lower. So again, looking for some retracement. I like the possibility of selling, shorting the euro off of about 12900. So we'll see how this thing goes over the next little while, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. There's going to be more information coming out on Twitter later today, but I'm basically looking to get short on the euro dollar to take it back down into those lows, ultimately towards 120. 127.50. Now remember my weekly chart. This is what I'm still kind of playing off of, which is we are very much in this channel. This channel's holding here very, very nicely, and so far is pushing the euro down very nicely there as well. So I'm just looking for opportunities, and again, probably getting short from 12900 to trade down into 128.30. 12800, potentially 127.50. So that's what I'm looking for on the euro dollar. Pound dollar has made a nice little break. It's been chopping around, not doing too much exciting stuff here, and it's finally making the run down. So what we have here is, remember, our target for the pound dollar, and we will reach it, is 159.10. 159.10 is going to be our target for the pound dollar. It's going to have a heck of a time getting all the way through this the 160 mark. We had a little attempt. Here's right there. You can see that we just barely. There we go. There's 160 right there. Um, and we had a little bit of some consolidation below that, but the pound is going to struggle with 160. It's going to be above and below and above and below. It's a really crucial level, but I think we're going to ultimately make a break for that 160 and head into that 159.10. So that's our next target. So what I'm looking for here, again, a little bit of retracement. If we get this thing back up into about 160.30, 20.30 area, I think that's going to be a good area to short and take the pound back down towards that 159.00. So as you guys know, I don't trade the pound dollar as much as some other pairs, but I think this setup is looking pretty good. So that's what we're looking for. Ultimately, once again, targeting 159.10. Okay, Euro Yen. This thing is kind of slowly but surely breaking out of our channel on the daily chart. Lower high, just like the Euro Dollar. Next big stop, 100. That's our big level, just the 100 level right here. Lots of consolidation. We've even pushed a little bit below that to about 99, 70, 80-ish. But really that 100 area is going to be big, big support. You can see lots of consolidation there, lots of consolidation there. So if we can get down into that, that may be a good little spot to look for some bounces and some breaks or excuse me, some bounces and some opportunities to get long. But even before that, let's focus on what we can do to trade down to that area. We have pretty good support now turned resistance at 10100. We're about 25 pips below that. Let's see if we can get some retracement up into this area and short the euro yen down towards that 100 area. So we want to sell right around 10100 to take down into that 100 support. So that's what I'm looking for on this euro yen as of current. Now, quickly, the Aussie dollar. We had some nice little trades on this Aussie dollar yesterday. It broke above and below and so on, and there was just some good little short-term activity, but it's gotten pretty choppy, and it still is remaining choppy. So what I'm looking for on the big picture here is we have this attempt to come off of these lows, but we did get a very nice open below major support here, which was around 10200, and then 101.85. We had opens below that. This daily candle here opened at 101.40, just about 45.50 area. I think this euro, or excuse me, I think this Aussie is coming right back down. It's just shaking out all those shorts but before it starts to drop. So it's going to be a little tricky to get that exact entry. We had a nice little breakout right here, broke, ran, and still couldn't get below this daily pivot, and here it is once again. Now the daily pivot's obviously going to be changed shortly, but this is turning out to be a fairly important area, and this is 101.85, and we're currently at 102.05, so we're about 20 pips away. I probably will look to get in at an open below this level on the 1-hour chart. I want to get below this current support here and start shorting this pair into the lows of about 101.50. Again, with an open below about 101.85 is what I'm looking for on the Aussie dollar. And then the Aussie yen, very similar situation on the Aussie yen. We had this run down, a little spike up, and it's coming right back into resistance. Now, the Aussie yen has a very similar situation as the Aussie dollar with the daily chart. We have big support right here at the 80 level. It keeps testing and big bounces, testing, big bounce. And here it tested again, and then we had a gap down and open below. And then it's just kind of spiked back up a little bit. So far, it's staying below this major area right here, resistance now, which is around 79.85 to the 80 area, give or take 15 pips. This is our area. So what I'm looking to do is ultimately get a nice break on this Aussie yen and take it down into these lows, and I think we've got a good chance of that. But excuse me, finding that entry is going to be a little bit tricky here. So we've got a lot of cluster and a lot of support / resistance at the 80 level. The current resistance now is 80. Is really, I'm going to call it about 79.90. If we stay below this, then I like shorting the Aussie yen and taking it back down into those lows. So that's what I'll be looking for on that one. Gold is breaking down. Gold's giving us some new things to look for and work with. So far, it's kind of testing this area, this ascending trend line, but I think we'll get a break and a nice little run there. So best of luck. That's what I'm looking for. I'll have more details coming out on Twitter as the day goes on, but I think we should have some great entries and great trades coming up. Take care, everyone, and good luck.